Talk to me, Cleveland. This is your brother Kevin Chill Hurd. This is Chill Talk. I believe this is quarantine episode 57. It's 57 or 58. I'll check the record since we have not been at Radio One. But as things start clearing up, who knows? We may be returning. Y'all might want to get your bids in to be the first guest as we return to the station. But for now, you already see who it is, the one and only, the very colorful, earthy, earth colors, the super producer, Felicia Haney. What's going on, Haney?
Nothing much. How's everybody? I'm just getting home, so it's taking me a sec. I'm trying to log on my computer here.
All right. Now, I told the people, a lot of things have gone on in the last. We didn't see people last week. We had lots of things going on between us. But things still continue. We're still on the grind. We're still busy. We're doing things in the community, and it's still happening. And people got there. I think we all squared up with people with their Chill Talk free swag for the free stuff. I know we delivered stuff, and if I'm not correct, I heard you were riding around with week before guest that you weren't here, but last week's guest, brother Adam Morgan, as he represented the International Men of Excellence, and you can see that show right now out on my YouTube channel. So go to the Kevin Chill Hurd YouTube channel. It's up right now. Adam is out sending it around to everybody. He's very proud of the work he's done with the International Men of Excellence. But he told me that he was riding around with you the other day. Is that true?
Yeah, we was bending corners. Me and Adam was out here in these streets. So we was doing our thug thizzle. So if you've been watching the show, once, I don't think he definitely wasn't a guest that night, but somehow we got to speaking about the MAC Scholars Program that
he was politicking from the chat. He was politicking from the chat box.
Yeah, and I think he was saying something about somebody's coming to speak or whatever. And, so I started talking my junk, like, why you ain't never asked me to come and speak? So then he called me on my bluff and was like, okay, we'll come and speak. And I was like, I was just talking junk. I wasn't like, so because I had put it out there, though, I went on ahead and, followed through. So I spoke to Adam's students, very, very nice young gentleman. I actually sat in a week prior when Smooth was on there speaking to the students.
Okay, wait. So instead of just coming on, doing the show, you went to scout it out to see how it goes down.
I said, listen, I'm gonna need a link to this the week prior too, so I can see what's going on. I want to see, like, what kind of kids I'm dealing with, what they into, what their interests are, how they take the speaker, all of that stuff, so I can be the best prepared. So I did, and he did a great job. I didn't doubt that he would anyway.
Okay, and for everybody, I just want we dropping names. Okay, well, Wendell is saying Brad will be there. I'm gonna get back to the B-Buzz announcement. Matter of fact, Wendell, if you have time, I have the link, the Zoom link in. If you want to come on and give a quick shout about what's going on the coming weekend for the grand opening of the Little League Baseball, you can grab a Zoom line and jump on there. But yeah, Smooth, as people, everybody knows Chill Talk, and they know me. That's my boys, one of my best friends. Not only is he a hip hop pioneer, the grandfather of freestyle flowing, but he works for the government, and he's also on the school boards for Warrensville. He's on the Warrensville Board of Education. And so Smooth,
and he'll run a Boston on you.
And he's one half of the greatest spades team that there ever was. Anybody wants some smoke, look for that Chillin' Smooth challenge. But yeah, so he was on with the kids. So Felicia jumped in there. Oh, and the government name, I think he's rocking with Earl Roberts. Not necessarily his government name, but I think that's what he's rocking with for his government name, Earl Roberts. So when you hear saying smooth, we're talking about the OG hip hop freestyle flower and a member
He had
of
another
the
name.
Darren.
Darren, bro. I thought he was kind of using both or something.
Earl Darren. Yeah, I think his government is Earl. His
Mm-hmm.
family knows him as Darren. The hip hop community it knows, and the collegiate community knows him as Smooth, or more properly, Mr. Smooth. But yeah, government name Earl, family name Darren, Wu-Tang name Mr. Smooth. So, so you came in to watch Smooth,
I
and he
did.
did
I
good.
came in. He did a great job, and I took notes. So to just to let you know, Smooth, the kids were up on it. So I took part of his lesson and incorporated it, and when I did it the following week. So what I said was, or what Smooth said to them was, if you don't remember anything else from this, I want you to leave with this word, accountability. And they had to give their definition of accountability and all of that. So when I came in, I started off with like, okay, now I know the last speaker said if he was leaving y'all with one thing, what was it? And so they remembered. So they had the accountability. We had the accountability recap conversation, and then we moved on. So what I talked about more so was identity, and how that fits in, with race and gender and all these things that kind of make up who we are. So it was nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. Gave the kids some great prizes. So not only did we deliver the chill swag, I delivered the swag to these students personally. I picked up Mr. Morgan, and he escorted me over to their elementary school, Fernway, I believe it was, and we delivered the goods.
So you did a chill talk maneuver on them. You not only came and spoke, but you gave out things. How much you charged those kids for the stuff you gave them?
Oh yeah, we had to charge them because
And you charged them how? What was the exact price?
well, the exact price was for the free. They got
that's
it
how
for
we
free.
that's how we do it around here.
Well,
For
they
the
did have to
free.
answer some questions.
Okay.
We had to make y'all answer some questions every once in a while also. But you ain't have to come out your pocket for it. So that's how we do
Okay.
here at CHILLTALK.
Excellent. And I do want to say I see Brother Wendell Fields, the commissioner of the historic B Buzz Baseball League, which will be having its opening day coming up this weekend. Wendell, hopefully you can see the Zoom link that I have in the chat. Felicia, if you can copy that and repost it, the Zoom link in the chat. I don't know if you've got it up on your Facebook on there yet. Oh, but you have the Zoom link anyway because you came on with it to tell us a little bit more about it. But yeah, I just want to go back to, and I've spoken with the kids, the children from the Max Scholars. And I've also been the keynote speaker when they had their graduation and their award ceremony for Max Scholars. So it is, as Felicia just told you, a group of very talented, bright, young Black men. They're youngsters, Felicia. They're what, like in the what grade are they?
I think they're third and fourth graders.
Third and fourth grade. So they're youngsters, but these are the best mannered, brightest children. Adam is doing, man, an excellent job. And I did hear that Felicia, the super producer, came and rocked the house. And as you can see in the chat, Wendell has dropped the B Buzz Baseball organization link. So anybody who wants to find out about opening day, I don't know if that means but Wendell, you're invited to come on and just say something real quick on the Zoom link. Felicia just put it back up in there again. What's up to Thomas T. Swift, Lindsay in the building as the people are piling in by the hundreds. Hopefully we'll be at the thousands coming into the building. But yes, so this weekend is the big, big holiday weekend. But yeah, I will be in attendance for opening day, and lots of people. Felicia, I don't know if you were on earlier. I said the B-Buzz Baseball League produced myself, Ben Holbert, Mayor Ben Holbert, candidate Zach Reed, Mayor Brad Sellers, who Wendell said will be in attendance. He just texted that, he just dropped that information in the chat. All kinds of, man, all over the Lee Harvard area, Lee Miles, Lee Seville, B-Buzz Little League has been a lifeline of, of just being something positive in the Lee Harvard community. And they are, as I announced earlier, they will be honoring the life and legacy of Ken Ferguson. There will be some type of unveiling. Ken played B-Buzz, but he might have been in the original class of B-Buzz Little League. But they will be honoring him with some sort of unveiling. I spoke to his son, Justin Ferguson. Justin will be in. Wendell said he's trying to get in. So there's the link. You have the Zoom link. So we'll see if you can make it in, Wendell. We would love to hear from you about B-Buzz. But now I want to ask you this. Adam told me, I don't know if this is, I'm letting a secret out, that you and him also went to the gym. Like what he said, he said he said Felicia went to Planet Fitness to work out with him. So that's dedication,
Why
Felicia.
Adam telling all the business?
I know that Wendell is saying, is there a password? It should not be a password. You should be able to get on with the link. But yeah, so I mean, I know you're dedicated, Felicia. You went and spoke, and you drove Adam around and dropped off all the things, but you was spotting him at the bench press too?
Hey, I had to get my workout in. Adam said he was going to the gym, and I said, you know what? I'm coming too. Signed up on the spot because I'm like, I've been thinking about doing this. I keep talking about it. I need to be about it. So I went on ahead and signed up. And yeah, so it ended up being a great outing.
Did you go in? I mean, because I was interested because a lot of the fitness places were closed and they opened and they had all these restrictions. So how was it looking in there? Brother Adam is in the chat. So he says, Hotep. Adam, you see that we actually have the Zoom link if you want to jump in and let us know how Felicia did, not at the gym, but at the Mac Scholars, and tell us a little bit about what the Mac Scholars are. You're invited to jump on. But how was the gym? Because I'm interested. It's around the corner from me. So
that wasn't my first time being in there since COVID had started. So I had been bootlegging off of our good friend Bakari Simpson. He has a membership, and my best friend Janelle. So I would go with them. We'd be like, hey, you going to the gym? And I would come in on that membership. So I had been a few times, and it's different, but it's not as many people. I like that part.
Right, that's cool.
But it's just different because of the mask thing. You kind of like, especially when I actually just went on Sunday as well. And I was just kind of in there like, because it's hard to work out with a mask on, and there's so many people without it on. And I'm like, am I supposed to be wearing it, not wearing it? So I don't know. I kind of had a combination of things going on. Like,
all right, now, Felicia, I'm letting somebody in. It says William. Now, last time you were in here, I let somebody in, and it was a crazy person. Like, so I got I got my finger on the trigger. If it's somebody saying something crazy. All right, they're sideways.
But I definitely want to give a shout out.
This is our guest.
Okay, he's here.
Okay, as soon as he gets his camera together.
Before we get started, though, I got to shout out our Chill Talk family, Rhonda Crowder, who celebrated a birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Rhonda. I saw Felicia give you the shout out, and she shouted out some cool stuff, cool swag she hooked you up with. But, I'm going to see you too, Rhonda.
Yeah. So, and for anybody who doesn't know, Rhonda does this 5 a.m. writers workshop every morning. Like she's got a year in. So since this pandemic has started, well, she started in May, a little after the pandemic first got started last year, but she's been rolling tough every single day for a little over a year now. The beginning of May marked a year. So she's doing her thing. And I was listening to her one morning. She was saying that, like you go places and people like give you a journal as a gift, or you kind of collect them. They have it when you go to like different events or whatever. And she was like, I had all these journals, or I bought journals from people and I was never using them. So as part of her 5 a.m. writers workshop, she decided to dedicate a few minutes of her writing to just journaling, to like doing her own thing. And she's like, I went from having all these unused journals that just sitting around to like she's used up every single journal she had.
Wow.
So I kind of took note of that, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get her some journals. So the post that you saw was I had gotten those bracelets for her. I had made those bracelets for her a couple years ago for her birthday. And so I'm like, I gotta upgrade, I gotta get her some more. But this year I got her, I'll do a flip around my camera. Oh, I thought I was.
There you go.
So I got her this little stack of journals here. So I gotta deliver these to Rhonda, but she should be all set now with getting back to her journaling. So shout out to Rhonda. We love and appreciate you here on Chill Talk, and happy birthday to you.
Big ups to my sister Rhonda Crowder, part of the what they call us? The clique.
The clique.
They got a clique going on. Yeah, so we're there. We're there. They not trying to say it like it was a bad thing. We said, we accept that. Yeah, we the clique.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take that. So big ups to Rhonda Crowder and her birthday. I also want to say we're joined in the chat by my man, the Hitman. Stereo is in the building. Stereo, bruh, just call me, man. I can't. My phone haven't been working with the video thing, but yeah, I'll get you. But as I see, and if brother Will can hear us, he needs to get his camera straight because he's still sideways. So you're still sideways.
Oh, because I
don't know what you have to do.
Oh,
there you go. Hold on.
I got you.
Is he back?
I don't know. I don't know.
He's working on it. He's working on it. But
yeah, no.
I'm there.
There you go.
There you go.
I see y'all.
All right, and we see you.
We see you right side up now.
All right.
All right, and real quick before we start talking to brother Will, I was just going to finish up and say, Felicia, that I also probably was going to try to join you guys in there. One, I just needed to know how did it look as far as, was it a bunch of people in there coughing and sneezing all over the equipment? Because then I wasn't going to come. But I certainly need to work out. Now, I've been getting some I've been running and on the bike. I've been on the recumbent bike and the treadmill. So I have been doing some. Not a long time, but for the short period, I put in work. I put in a hell of 5 minutes on that treadmill.
Wait a minute, that's a 5-minute run or that's a total?
Okay, I start out warm up, walking really, really fast, and then I just like flat out be hustling, running like for as long as I can.
Like Bigfoot behind you.
Right, you saw the commercial, right? Either you run with Bigfoot or you running from Bigfoot. But yeah, so I might go and check it out one time and see how it is and join you and Adam in there, getting your physicality on. All right, so
waiting for you.
So we have our guest has arrived.
Speaking of running,
Good segue. That's a good one. Hold on, Felicia. Let me give you the Zamunda
Look at
flag.
that. Look at that.
The Zamunda flag for that one. Great segue. Speaking of running, we have, and we will have more candidates for Congress to fill the seat left vacant by Sister Marcia Fudge. So there is a position open for her congressional seat. That everybody who knows, she is now a part of the president's cabinet, President Biden's cabinet, as HUD Secretary, Housing and Urban Development. So that leaves the spot open.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be our first candidate for that position. Look for some more. Now, we've had candidates, but we have people on the show that were running. We're not running, but they've become candidates, but they have been on the show. But anyway, this is the brother we have. So Felicia, I don't know if you want to do an introduction before he lets the people know who he is.
Well, sure. I had the pleasure of bumping into Will quite a few weeks back when I first heard that he was interested in running for this seat. So I got introduced to him by our friend Chris, who owns the Academy Tavern.
Big ups to Chris Butler.
And he was like, hey, this is somebody you should know, kind of thing. So we got to know each other. We chatted a little bit. And then ironically, another friend of a friend of Chill Talk, Miss Kim Moss, she
Big ups
sent
to Kim Moss
an email to Chill and myself, like, hey, this guy is running for Congress, you should pay attention. So I'm like, okay, wow. So that's not only one, but two friends of ours has mentioned his name and thought that he was, worthy of being on Chill Talk and letting the people know what he's got going on. So we said, let's make it happen. So here we are. Welcome. Let me say that first and foremost. Welcome to the show. I think I was introduced to you as Will. Do you prefer to be called Will?
Yeah. Like my it's funny. My parents and my family are the only people that call me Will. Like the old school people call me William. Like my parents and my family call me William. And then every once in a while I run into like my siblings, the older people used to take care of us in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They still call me William. So it's kind of weird when people
say, if Mama call him William, I'm gonna call him William. But no.
People call me Will or Will.
All right. Now, Felicia, I also have to say, Chris is doing a good job, because I also met Will at the same location, the exact same way. That Chris said, chill, you just somebody you have to know. You have to know this guy. And so he introduced. I said, yeah, we're supposed to have you on our show. So, we got a chance to talk. But I'll also tell you this. I saw two of his campaign signs on my street today.
All right.
Like, okay, all right. He's up on Fairmount.
I wonder if those are the ones. I wonder if those were the ones that was taken at Shaker Square. I'm wondering about those.
When you say taken, you say that people take them.
I had a couple at Shaker Square. Yeah.
Hey, this politics, bro. Let me tell you that you get used to that, man. You work hard. I know how much those signs cost, and then you put those signs down, and you wake up the next day.
No, it was
the sign's gone.
Someone on Shaker Square that mysterious. Oh, we in the game. We doing something now.
Okay. All right.
People take my time to do something right.
All right. Well, introduce yourself to the Chill Talk audience.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, let me make sure I can be heard. Felicia, can you hear me?
Shaker Heights. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were having a little problem hearing you, Will, but I think you're good now.
I think it's a delay on his end.
Yeah.
Give it a second. He might be frozen. Will may need to get his Wi-Fi boost.
Yeah, it's definitely some kind of
Yeah,
delay.
he's frozen a little bit. Well, and while Will gets that together, I also want to say what's going on to my brother Amani Zaire is in the building watching us as the people come in. We have hundreds approaching thousands of people joining us. Please share Chill Talk. Let people know what's going on. All right, I think we have Will. I don't know, Felicia. Let's see.
You there, Will?
Yeah, Will, you're freezing up a little bit on your, well, not a little bit, a lot. Will,
Close this door. I hear some rain in the back. I hear some rain in the background. So let me close.
all right, Will's gonna come out and come back in. But okay, let's see. He's back. Now, if he unmutes himself, we see if we got action.
Yep. We good now?
Will, we sound.
Yeah, that's much better.
Oh, Will, let me give you the Zamunda flag. We sound good in the.
Thank you.
And he was just giving you the mean Ice Cube face a minute ago.
Yeah, Will, you were about to get the
don't
the
do me
mean.
like that.
You good in the hood. So back to the question at hand. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Will Knight. I'm from Shaker Heights, Ohio. I was born in Cleveland and at St. Luke's Hospital on 116th Shaker Boulevard, and I'm the youngest of seven. And my family came from Alabama. My dad and my mom moved from Alabama to Akron, and then three of my siblings were born there. Then they moved to East Cleveland, and then we moved from East Cleveland to Shaker. And then me and my three other brothers, my two other younger, older siblings. So the seven of us, then we all went to Shaker Heights High School. And then I graduated Shaker Heights High School. Then I was captain of the wrestling team, went to Ohio State, wrestled at Ohio State in the early 90s, and been, just been doing business with, my dad had this business of, painting business. But before that, he was a banker. He was one of the first Black men to work in a bank who wasn't a custodian in Ohio. So he went from Akron, then he got a better opportunity in East Cleveland, and Cleveland, worked with Cleveland Trust. And then he was financing, giving bank loans to Black businesses when people weren't doing that. People, housing when people weren't doing it. He was taking risks on people. And then when he started a bank then he was working with the Bustamantes and bank. He was vice president of First Bank, and that came defunct because of some other powers that be. And then he just went more into contracting and painting, and kept the ship moving, and helped us get through college. And we here now.
Okay, well, and you know what? And I read you were good enough, or Kim and Felicia followed up, was good enough to send me a lot of that information. And so, of course, the question is, we know a lot of there's a lot of people running for this position.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, we already know who they are. They're people who we know from being public servants, for people who have held public office before, and in various, different ways, or at least candidates before, multiple times over. You are not one of those people.
Absolutely.
So, what my first question is, because you haven't run for anything that I know of, that we know of, this is a big step. It's not you're jumping out running for council or precinct committeeman or state senator or state congressperson. You running, to be in the House of Representatives. What made you in your initial quest to run for public office? Why this and why now?
Well, I've been a mentor of mine. I had been in high school. I've been working on campaigns, and in college, I would come back and work on some of these campaigns. Some of these people who've been elected the last couple of years. I mean, that are running. And my sister, my sister passed away last January, And she had been huge in doing Democratic canvassing and working for these people and doing these things. And I've always been a part of the political spectrum, just working and obviously just voting. I've been voting since 1991 on just about everything. And working with these people, starting to see, I know some of these people and I see some of the fleas that they have on them from being in politics over the last 20, 25 years. And I know a lot of times in the mid 90s, people wanted me to get in and do things. But then I look back now and I'm like, I would have had a lot of those fleas on me too. But what made me get in was wrestling at Ohio State. I don't know if you know, we had an inappropriate doctor and we have a lawsuit against Ohio State. And my assistant coach is a congressman now, and he turned his back on us pretty much. And throughout this process, I've been an advocate for my teammates over the last 3 years. We've been battling Ohio State and investigators. And what I learned is reaching out to all these politicians, city councilmen. I've reached out to state reps, Democrat and Republican. Only one got back to me. And I want to give Juanita Brent a shout out. I mean, I'm not giving her a shout because she's like supporting, because she might be supporting someone else. I don't know, but she's my state rep. And she coincidentally reached out to me and said, are you free for a phone call? We talked for a little bit, and she told me about the process and why our bill, House Bill 249, has been stalled and why it shouldn't be. And then I've reached out to all these people, different people, and she just saw how she just said, ultimately, she said, Will, government's supposed to work for you, not against you. And from that point, that stuck with me. And then when the opportunity came, when I saw that Marcia Fudge was vacating the seat, and then I saw some of the people who were going to be running, and then they just felt that, like you said, there's people with names and this, and then it seemed inevitable. I said, no, that just can't be the case. This seat is too important. It's too historic. I know the history with Louis Stokes, how he created it. People have told me. And my brother worked for Louis Stokes as a congressional page. I understand how important this is. And it just seems like this is the first time since him that the seat is like really up, and someone has to really earn it. So, and that should be the case. No one should just be given this seat. A name shouldn't just have it. People should have to earn this seat. It's too important to America. It's too important to our area. And that's why I said, you know what? I got a lot of people, a lot of friends. I got some backing. I have a name from my family over the last 50 plus years in this area, and me being a coach in all these pockets that people don't pay attention to. So I said, you know what, let's do this, because it's too important for just to be given to somebody.
So I guess I would kind of follow that up and say, why politics though? So like I can see you looking in these, like you said, you worked on various campaigns, and you saw for yourself, like you said, these people came out with fleas on them. I didn't want to get involved in that aspect.
Yeah.
So why not act, some form of activism or something else? Why did you say that this is the route? Like it has to be politics.
Well, I've been an activist for males and sexual assault for the last 3 years, and it hasn't gotten us anywhere. We still have Ohio State trying to throw our case out. Okay. Now, if Jim Jordan has the power to, honestly, if he made some calls to the state legislature, he can make some moves, but he's not doing it. Now, say if I got blessed and won the seat, there'll be some real movement on something like that when it comes to, a lot of policy when it comes to sexual abuse, sexual assault, and things like that. And what I realized is just talking ain't gonna do nothing. We've been doing a lot of talking these last couple of years, and a lot of things. And sometimes you have to do different avenues. And I saw this one as an opportunity to get my voice out there and be able to fight for my brothers and the people of this area. If you see over the last 20 years, we remember how Cleveland was thriving in the 90s, but something happened in the 2000s. Something happened. I don't know. I mean, something happened in the country. And I see all these people that are talking about these same things, like our area is going down, this suburb's going down, this place is going down. We see what East Cleveland looks like. It was the most beautiful suburb 100 years ago in America. It was one of the most beautiful suburbs. But what are we doing there? We can at least try and pave those streets. What have these people been doing here? I'm tired of it. That's where my peoples live. I love East Cleveland. I still look every time I drive through there. I get so disappointed because I see how beautiful that place can be. But it takes somebody to go in there and do the work and not just go and just like, hey, well, I'm a congressperson and okay, I'm gonna worry about this. Like let's go do the work in East Cleveland. Let's go do the work in Cleveland Heights and help them with some of their issues with there's developing their school system. And let's work with Beechwood to help them with their law enforcement issue. We got to go and do the work.
Okay, now
Well, first,
go ahead,
first
Felicia.
First of all, Cleveland Heights ain't got no issues.
I knew that was coming.
I knew not to wear my Shaker Wrestling t-shirt.
I knew that Felicia was going to say something about that.
See, am I supposed to say bye, Felicia, at this point? Am I supposed to do that?
Oh, no, that's what you're not supposed to say.
Oh, so now
unless you're really about to leave the show.
I know, but I never say that to him. I'm not really good. But it's funny about Friday, the girl, Craig's girlfriend, she's from Shaker. She graduated with my brother.
Paula J.
So
Parker.
I'm
gonna send y'all my picture that I got with her. I was at the MTV, like some party for Hustle and Flow. And then I actually interviewed her for Hustle and Flow. I interviewed Paula Parker for Hustle and Flow. Yeah, I'm gonna send you that pic. Our Shaker alumni pic out in California once I met her.
Okay, now I want to
give you a pass. We'll give you a pass.
Now, I did want to ask one thing you brought up, because you're talking about making changes, and but what kept you out of it thus far was as you described, the fleas, the ticks in politics. I got that.
Yes.
I picked up on that.
Yes.
Couldn't get that one past me. I saw how you did that. But it is politics when you're talking about potholes fixed in East Cleveland and different things, policing in Beechwood, and you're talking about policing and how they're doing things in Cleveland. It's a political game of give and take, and I think people by now know that to be in politics you have to play politics.
Yes.
Of which you thus far have not really been involved. So how do you think a newcomer like you, without real political connections that the other candidates may have, and without that political experience, how do you realistically believe that you can make things happen for the better?
Now, in these last couple of years, what I've noticed in coaching, I'm a head wrestling coach at Shaker, and I saw the shift in in Ohio, how people voted for Obama and then shifted to Trump and are kind of in the middle now, like figuring out, did I mess that up? And what I always tell people, what I always wanted to do was, I always believed when I wanted to get in politics a couple years ago on a smaller level, because I said, I always felt that I could do something bigger with it because of my connections in the state of Ohio and the diversity that I have, whether it's, a white dude from Zanesville, some mother that I know from Monroeville, or, or the head coach of Cleveland Heights. So I have such a diversity of the type of people that I can talk to. And if you check what our family is about, is how people appreciate that we have open minds to people and we have a wide array of relationships. It ain't just Black people and white people. It's a diversity. And I have a knack to talk to people just on the level of just like, okay, let's walk through some problems. Let's do this. And what I noticed was this is the perfect example. There's a friend of mine who I work with his son. He's a white guy, but he runs an electrical company. And he's just a businessman. He keeps coming to me. He's like, Will, you got to help develop some some minority electricians because they're desperate for them. And he's about business. And he's like, Will, I can help you with this. If you can find some of your young wrestlers and get it, he said they can make so much money if they can do these projects, right? And then we talked, and then we just started talking a little bit more. He was like, Will, I voted for Obama before, and then I voted for Trump this time. Then I didn't vote for Trump, and he had he had a moment of shame telling me this, but he knew I wasn't going to beat him up for that comment. Like, oh, how the hell you didn't vote for Trump? Because in reality, I get why people voted for Trump in Ohio. I get why some of those people were upset. And I get why some of these Black men sat out. I get that. I see it. I hear what they're talking about because they're frustrated with what's been going on. It's like they still look back and it's like, wow, my car's still messed up. I'm still like, I got pulled over when Obama was a president. I'm getting pulled over now. So what's the difference, right? Or my job the same during Obama. My job the same now. You know what? This dude on the outside, I might try that. I get why they tried that. But then they came to their senses and like, wait, this dude ain't the right dude because he wacky. But in reality, I just sit and think to myself, I have these conversations with these people all the time and I listen to them. A lot of people don't want to listen to nobody. They just want to tell you like, oh, you voted for Trump, I'm done with you. Oh, you didn't vote for Obama, or you didn't vote, or you sat out and didn't vote. So I ain't listening to you. How you gonna get that person re-engaged? How you gonna get that person back? We're in a dangerous place because we can lose Ohio and it can be it's straight up red state. We can't live in that. That can be a real detriment to our area. And imagine living at that. We're lucky to still be purple. They still want to spend money here to promote and campaign. But soon we become a red state, that's a wrap. And we need people that can come and talk to multiple type of people that have a diverse background that can do that. And that's one thing that I'll put myself up against anybody. I can talk to anybody in this district, any type of person, Republican, Democrat, white, Black, Asian, any type of person. I'll put that up against anybody.
Okay, now I do, first of all, I want to say what's up to my brother E-Dub in the building, watching what's going on. As people come in, we see everybody coming in, filling it up. Make sure you share the show, let the information get out that we have this young brother who is running for Congress to fill the historic seat of Lewis Stokes, most recently departed from that seat, our friend Marsha Fudge. So he's on here. He's speaking with us right now. Please share the show. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't say, you see, as I talked earlier at the beginning of the show, we're under quarantine. We haven't been at the radio station this is our 57th show, not at the radio station in Radio One. But if you want to, feel free to support the show. You see the Cash App in the chat. And just drop whatever you can in the Cash App, and that's money, $money to chill, the number 2, $money to chill. Feel free to drop that in there.
Now, before you go on, I want you to take a picture. See that picture on my left shoulder? That's,
I see the Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. My dad met him back in the day, and because he was doing business, he came to donate like a piece of property in Lee Harvard area. So he would my dad would facilitate with some people. So he'd get a couple cool pictures with the champ. And there was one that was always in our house. Like it was a smaller picture. I blew it up. And my father passed away 3 years ago. And it's been a special picture at all of it. So I blew it up and sent it to my friend.
That's
so
historic.
I figure y'all appreciate it.
Hey, and that's Lee. Big ups.
Yeah.
Let me. That's Lee Harvard. Big ups to Lee Harvard.
The center. He donated
the federal building. He bought the federal building. Did you get that one, Felicia? Right. The champ, the greatest, was in Lee Harvard, and he bought the federal building. And initially, he donated it to the brothers. The Nate brothers from the nation. But he came and he bought the federal building. That was big news in Lee Harvard that day. But one thing I wanna ask you, because I do want to talk some policy, but you can't have politics. You can't talk politics. You can't run a campaign without money.
Yes, sir.
And you have people in this race that they're good grassroots candidates. They're good political candidates. They have candidate support up in the state and up in Columbus. Yes. You have a candidate that is immersed in Democratic, Cuyahoga County Democratic politics, and you have a candidate who thus far has raised more money than all of the candidates combined, and at the end of the day will probably still have twice as much donated money than how many people are running as far? What, it's like 7 people running possibly
on the Democratic side. Some like 7 on the Democratic side, I think.
Okay,
Seven, 8, 9.
but you have a candidate that's raising lots
Yeah,
and lots and lots of
yeah,
money.
yeah.
So it's only so many campaign dollars going
I
around.
know. W-
How do you intend on fighting this fight in such a crowded cast of candidates with not as much money as everybody else? Talk to me, bro.
So we on the grassroots level. What I did initially was just I reached out to my people. Okay, I just reached out to my Shaker alum. I reached out to family. Yeah, I'm not gonna get Bernie money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna get establishment Democrat money initially from the Cuyahoga County. But I'm starting to suck. I'm starting to dry that stuff up. I took on my campaign manager, and who is really fond and really great at fundraising. And we're gonna just grassroots stuff. We're gonna have barbecues. We're gonna sell T-shirts. We're gonna do signs, and we're gonna do it at the grassroots. You're gonna see us on Lee Road next week, and they. But at the end of the day, you can raise all the money you want, but money ain't gonna buy you no vote if people don't like you, right? If people think you have some issues, you need all that money for fancy commercials to change imagery. That's not gonna matter that much. So at the end of the day, I'm just gonna get my message out here. I'm gonna come on great shows like yourself, and then ask people to press that donate button on my website. If they do that, that's good. But we just gonna get out there and do the work. Like me coming from wrestling, like a lot of people think that I should be scared of people or nervous about stuff. You can't do that as an athlete, as a wrestler. You can't do that. You can't live scared. You got to go and try and win. If you lose, you lose. But you got to go out and try and win. So I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna take to try and win. And so I'm positive about it. We're not broke. We got our signs. I mean, yeah, I could probably use those 6 signs that got taken from us. I could probably get them back. But we raised some money off of that Facebook post saying that. So people donate some money off of that. So we gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it moving. You think I'm gonna stop? Like I'm not. Just because Nita got 2 million. I ain't gonna get that. But I'm not worried about that. She gonna need every bit of it. She gonna need every bit of it to be this.
Okay, talk to me about policy. You
Mhm.
talked about that bill 249, but that's something near
That's
and
a
dear.
whole.
That's something near and dear to your heart, and I'm gonna give you a chance to talk about that as well because I can tell that's a passion of yours.
Yeah.
But talk to me about what policy do you look to champion? Do you look to enact if given a chance to represent this district, this congressional district? What changes? First of all, we're already looking at possible changes in the district because of the census, the past census.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're all kind of seeing what's going to happen behind that. But what type of policy do you because you have not, as far as I know, you haven't written any passed any policy thus far. But what are you looking at as a potential congressman to champion for the people of your community?
Law enforcement reform is pretty important to me, but a lot of people don't realize it just doesn't lie at the feet of just law enforcement and police officers. I say I want to reform law enforcement through community engagement as well. Okay, I have cousins who are in law enforcement. My uncle was a commander in Cleveland, and what we have to do is we have to engage everyone in this process. It's going to take some time. If we just keep pretending like we just going to change, like we going to defund or we going to do these things, like quit playing in those games. We in Ohio, we're not defunding the police, so quit talking about that. We need to talk about reform in law enforcement and have different ideas of how to do that. Like for instance, I was working actually today. We're at a workout. One of my buddies is on the, he brought his kids to a workout, and he's part of the sniper division in Cleveland Police. And we're talking, and he probably leans a little bit more center right. He explained this to me, and then I lean center left. Okay, and what I was talking to him about was he was trying to re-instruct and do this program to engage these white officers. This guy's biracial, and he was trying to engage them in some new techniques in trying to engage people during stops and during incidents and things. And the first thing he told me was, when he even brought it up, they all were standoffish. They were all like, you know, oh, that's some liberal hippie left stuff and all that. That was the very first thing he said. And then as he kept engaging and going through this program and explaining these issues and things, by the end of it, they all had flipped. They all changed their attitude towards it. But it took work. It took work. It didn't take them just saying, hey, we taking this from you. Oh, y'all got to do this. It takes work. And if we're not willing to do the work, you can put a policy and a bill and all we want. I mean, there's rules on the books that you can't use chokeholds or things like that, but they still do them, right? So we have to first go by enforcing laws and then do the work in enforcing these techniques and moving forward, and more things like have more psychological help and people who are assisting when we have people who seem are having mental health breakdowns, or we maybe have more law enforcement people living within the community. So then now if there's a kid having some issue on the street, that officer who live on the street can be the first one there knowing that kid, you know, Mike down the street, like, hey, that dude struck. Hey, can you be the first one on the scene to go talk this issue down? So there's things, but it takes work, but it's going to take the community to do it. And it's our part too. We can't just be like, oh, it's all the law. Every issue that we have is policeman's fault. And we know it's not the case. So it's like, it's going to take us trying to meet somewhere, but it's going to also take some honesty, letting people speak honestly without beating them up, and then listening. So then we're not always, that's been the problem. We're not talking anymore, and we're just beating people up for something that you don't believe. If you take some time to listen, you'll find out a lot more people have way more common and want the same things.
Okay. We're for the people joining us, and I see we've been joined by my brother Anthony Washington. What's going on, Anthony? That we are speaking with Will Knight, who's a candidate for the 11th district congressional seat that has now become empty due to Marsha Fudge taking on a position with the Biden cabinet as chairperson of housing and urban development. He's in a battle. He's in a for real battle. It's lots of people, lots of names that we all know, and he's a newcomer as far as names in the political arena. So he has his job cut out for him. Now you talked about police, and your statement was defunding the police is not a realistic thing, but we do have some, and you brought up even chokeholds that you can make them illegal and they use them anyway. Now we do have something on the books that we are still under the dissent decree in Cleveland, and we've seen protests pop up this past year, despite being in the middle. Seen protests, people taking it to the streets in all parts of the country because of George.
You kind of broke out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, we have our issues here. Okay, I see it saying that my internet connection. Can you hear me?
I can hear you though. Yeah.
Okay, then we have our issues here in Cleveland. We've had to deal with the Tamir Rice. We've had to deal with several instances, and we were, a part of that consent decree. Where are you at on that? It was talked about being done away with under the Trump administration. Where are you at? What is your knowledge of what the consent decree is supposed to achieve? Is it achieving that these many years later? Is it something we should continue? Talk to me about that.
Well, look, I probably should know more about that, the whole intricacies of the consent of that decree. However, what I noticed is this. I'm gonna give you an instance of when I've been pulled over in every suburb that I've driven to, right? I've been or followed, and it's funny, after George Floyd, like a year ago when we're going through this, what I noticed was I had friends who were Blue Lives Matter and to, reach, and then people trying to reach out and trying to understand. Some people just weren't having it, right? And I tried to explain to them what a Black man goes through just driving on a daily basis. just existing, right? And I drove through a very familiar suburb and practice. And I just, and he said, Mr. Knight, I saw you on your cell phone. I said, no, you didn't. Because my cell phone's, you know, I said, I don't use, I got an earpiece. He said, I thought I saw you put your phone down. I said, no, you didn't, because it's in my pocket. Okay. And then he said, oh, let me get your lights. Boom. He went back, didn't have nothing on me, didn't even check, came right back. I say, what if he's having a bad day and I'm having a bad day? You know, I might not be going home. Okay. And then an officer came to me like, Will, let me know, tell me his badge name and this and this. And I said, okay, so say if he gets in trouble, he gets suspended, he goes somewhere else. So now the next time he pulls a black person over, where's his head at? Okay. So those are the things that I want to talk about, are the things that, okay, you leaving a law enforcement, if you're leaving a police force, why are you leaving? Or are you fired? You're not qualified to be on it. That's the issue we have with Tamir Rice. You see, these officers, very similar to how they did, you know, priesthood almost. It's like, okay, we messed up here, we'll move you over here. If we have you say, we have to cut through that. If we want to keep talking about getting rid of awful law enforcement, you know, we have to get rid of awful cops. And it has to be no look. I mean, we have to get rid of it. So, I mean, once again, I will get better on the intricacies of a lot of these policies, but I have my ideas of things that can work, that I want to work for, like knowing law enforcement in this area and working with our law enforcement here, because we can have a national policy all we want. But if we working with our law enforcement here, it don't matter. None of it matters.
All right, Felicia, if you have anything, I'm still talking to Brother Knight, but you have anything while I'm going in?
Yeah, I was just kind of had my video off because I was finishing up my dinner here. So shout out to Brassica, even though it's in Shaker.
See, now you're doing too much. You're doing too much now.
I had to hurry up and get shut my little food down. But so I guess what I would ask you, as you guys were talking, and one of them is,
and he dropped out, but hopefully he'll be back in. But hopefully he can hear us.
Dropped out, you mean in terms of frozen or off?
No, he's off.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I should wait. I don't want to pose a question and I'm not sure if he can hear us.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for him to get back in, I want to say what's up to Roxanne Turner. What's going on, Roxanne? In the building watching us. Oh, my mom is in the